Ethan Carter was a diplomat. He was not a soldier or a leader, but he was a father. He worked for the United Human Colonies and spent much of his life moving from one star system to another. He had seen many strange things in his travels, but nothing surprised him more than the great city of Avrion, where the Galactic Council met. The city was bright and full of tall glass towers, and different kinds of aliens walked everywhere. Ethan had brought his daughter, Lily, with him on this trip. She was only 10 years old and loved seeing new worlds. She smiled at the strange birds that flew between the towers, and sometimes she pointed at small robots cleaning the streets. Lily was kind and curious, and everyone who met her liked her. Not everyone liked humans. Many of the council members still remembered old wars and were afraid of what humans could do. Some aliens whispered that humans were dangerous, that they acted too quickly and felt too much. Ethan always tried to prove them wrong by being polite and careful. One morning, Ethan left Lily in the garden outside the council hall. He gave her a small snack and a book to read under a tall blue tree. He told her he would only be gone for a short time. He kissed her forehead and promised to return soon. Lily smiled and waved, happy to sit in the sunshine. Inside, Ethan met with the council leaders. They talked about trade, new laws, and how to keep the peace. Ethan did his best to explain things from a human point of view, but it was always hard. The council leader, High Chancellor Virac, was an old alien with silver skin and cold yellow eyes. He spoke in a slow voice and did not trust humans. While Ethan was inside, Lily finished her snack and decided to explore. She walked along the garden path and found a small gate. She pushed it open and saw a strange flower on the other side. It was bright purple and smelled sweet. Lily picked a flower and held it to her nose, not knowing that she had crossed into a part of the garden marked for council use only. Suddenly, 2 council guards appeared. They were tall, covered in metal armor, and spoke in a language Lily did not understand. They grabbed her arms and took away the flower. Lily tried to explain, but the guards did not listen. They pulled her through a hidden door in the garden wall and took her to a cold, dark room below the city. The guards left Lily alone in the room for hours. She was scared and hungry. She did not know where her father was or why she was being punished. When the door opened again, a council enforcer came in. He was thin and tall, with sharp teeth and no hair. He spoke in a harsh voice, asking Lily if she had come to steal something or to spy for her father. Lily shook her head and began to cry. She did not understand what was happening. The enforcer did not care. He believed humans were clever liars and wanted to force Lily to confess. He made the room colder and turned off the lights. He shouted questions at her again and again. Lily cried and begged for her father, but the enforcer only became more angry. Hours passed. The enforcer left, but another came in. Lily lost track of time. She was cold and afraid and could not stop shaking. While Lily was missing, Ethan finished his meeting and returned to the garden. He called her name, but there was no answer. At first, he thought she had gone to the restroom or was playing nearby. But after half an hour, Ethan started to worry. He asked the council staff if they had seen his daughter. No one knew anything. He searched the garden and the halls. Soon, fear filled his heart. Ethan called for help from the local security, but they were slow to respond. The council told him that children sometimes wandered off and that Lily would surely turn up. But Ethan knew his daughter. She would never leave without telling him. The hours stretched into the night. Ethan sent messages to the human embassy and the council police. He walked the empty halls of the city, calling for Lily. He went back to the garden again and again, hoping she would be there. But Lily did not return. Far away, in a different part of the city, an alien girl named Kira heard whispers about a human child in the council's lower prison. Kira was a servant, not very important, but she had a kind heart. She remembered seeing Lily's bright face in the garden. When she learned what had happened, she felt sick inside. She knew the council hated humans and sometimes punished them too hard. That night, Kira risked everything. She sneaked into a storage room and used an old communicator to send a message. She did not know if it would reach Earth, but she hoped someone would listen. She wrote that Lily Carter was being held in the lower prison, and that she was in danger. The message crossed space, bouncing between satellites and relays until it reached a listening post on Mars. The message was simple and urgent. The human operators did not believe it at first, but when they checked the details, they realized something was very wrong. They forwarded the message to the United Human Colonies on Earth. Ethan waited in the council hall, sick with worry, when his communicator beeped. The message from Mars came through. He read the words and his face went pale. He now knew where Lily was and who had taken her. Rage and fear mixed in his heart. He would not let the council hurt his child. He called the human leaders and demanded help. On Earth, the news spread fast. People saw pictures of Lily and remembered their own children. They felt anger growing inside them, stronger than fear. Across the human worlds, people began to ask the same question: what would they do to save one of their own? And so the spark was lit, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. Ethan did not sleep at all that night. He sat in his room, staring at the walls, thinking about Lily. He read Kira's message again and again. The words made him both hopeful and afraid. He wanted to run to the council prison and take Lily home. But he knew he could not do that alone. The council guards would never let him near the lower prison. He needed help. The next morning, Ethan called the human embassy and spoke to Ambassador Henry. Henry was a calm and clever man. Older than Ethan, he listened carefully to Ethan's story. He did not look surprised, only sad. Henry said he would call Earth at once and ask for more support. He promised Ethan that the embassy would not stop until Lily was safe. On Earth, the leaders of the United Human Colonies met in a secure room. President Lava Brooks sat at the center of the table, listening to the reports. She was a strong woman with sharp eyes and a steady voice. She read the message about Lily and looked at the worried faces around her. There was anger in her eyes, but she spoke with calm. "We must get our child back," President Brooks said. "We will not let them hurt her." General Scott Hayes was also at the meeting. He was tall, with gray hair and a deep voice. He said the military was ready to send ships if needed. Some of the leaders wanted to wait and talk more with the council. Others said that if they waited too long, it might be too late for Lily. The news about Lily spread quickly. On Earth, on Mars, and on all the other human colonies, people saw her face on screens. They read the reports about what happened in the council city. Many could not believe it at first. How could someone hurt a child? But soon anger grew. There were protests in the streets. People shouted for justice, waving signs and pictures of Lily. Some demanded that the council pay for what they had done. Back in the council city, Ethan and Ambassador Henry went to see the council leaders. They met High Chancellor Virak in a grand room with bright lights and tall windows. Virak looked down at them from his seat. He listened to Ethan and Henry explain what had happened to Lily. He did not show any emotion. When they finished, Virak spoke in his slow, cold voice. "The child was found in a forbidden area," Virak said. "She broke the law. The council will deal with her in its own way." Ethan felt his hands shake with anger. He tried to keep calm. "She is only a child," he said. "She did not know the rules. Please, let me see her." Virak shook his head. "The law is the law. The council will not be pressured by outsiders." Henry tried to reason with him, but Virak would not listen. The meeting ended, and the guards showed them out. Ethan's hope faded. He wondered if he would ever see Lily again. That night, Henry sent a message to President Brooks. He said that the council refused to help. He told her that the council leaders did not care about Lily or what her father felt. President Brooks was angry when she read the message. She met with General Hayes again and told him to be ready for anything. On the human colonies, things grew worse. Protests turned into riots. Angry crowds gathered outside the council's offices. Some threw rocks, others broke windows. The council sent messages to Earth asking them to control their people. President Brooks sent a short reply. She said that the only way to calm the crowds was to return Lily Carter to her father. In the darkness of the council prison, Lily sat alone. She tried to remember her father's voice and the way he always made her feel safe. Sometimes she thought she heard someone calling her name, but it was only her mind playing tricks. She missed her home and her friends. She wished she had never picked the flower. Kira, the alien girl who sent the message, was afraid. She watched the guards and listened for any news about Lily. She saw how the council leaders acted. She knew they did not care about humans or about children. She wanted to do more to help, but she was only a servant. She wondered if anyone would believe her if she told them what she had seen. One day, a group of human hackers in the Mars colony decided to take action. They broke into the council's computer system. They found secret files about the prison and even pictures of Lily's cell. They sent these pictures to news channels across the galaxy. Soon everyone knew where Lily was and what the council had done. The council leaders tried to hide the truth. They called the humans liars, but it was too late. The images were everywhere. Some aliens in other worlds began to question the council. They wondered if humans were really as bad as they had been told. On Earth, General Hayes ordered the fleet to prepare for travel. He spoke to President Brooks by video. "We are ready to move," he said. "Just give the order." President Brooks did not want war, but she could not let the council hurt Lily or any other human child. She told General Hayes to wait, but to stay ready. Ethan met with other human parents in the city. Some of them had lost children before, taken by the council or lost in space. They hugged Ethan and promised to stand by him. They held candles outside the council building, singing songs for Lily. Many aliens walked past and stared. Not sure what to think. Ambassador Henry went back to the council for one last try. He begged Virak to see reason. He said that if they did not return Lily soon, things would get much worse. But Virak only shook his head again. "Humans do not rule here," he said. "You must obey our laws." The next morning, human ships appeared in the skies above the council city. They were not there to attack, but to send a message. Their lights filled the night sky. The council citizens watched from their windows. Some were afraid, but others were curious. President Brooks sent one final message to the council: "Return our child, or we will act." Ethan watched the sky, waiting for news. His heart was full of hope and fear. He did not know what would happen next. He only knew that humans everywhere were with him, and that nothing would stop them now. The whole galaxy waited to see what the council would do. Ethan stood at his window, staring up at the sky. He could see the human ships far above the city, shining like stars. It made him feel both proud and scared. He wanted his daughter back more than anything. He also worried about what would happen if the council did not give her back. He remembered what humans could do when they were angry, and so did the council. The council city was quiet but not calm. Everywhere, people whispered about the human ships. Some aliens were afraid that war was coming. Others thought the council should never have taken Lily. A few even said the humans had a right to be angry. The council leaders met in secret rooms, speaking in low voices. They did not want to look weak, but they were worried. No one had ever seen humans come together like this before. In the human embassy, Ambassador Henry was busy with messages from Earth. President Brooks sent her orders every hour. The military ships above the city were ready for anything, but they waited for her command. General Hayes spoke to his captains, telling them to stay calm. He did not want to start a war, but he would not let the council hurt another child. Ethan could not sleep. He walked the halls, thinking about Lily and remembering when she was a baby. He remembered the way she smiled when she learned to walk and how she loved to draw pictures of new worlds. Now she was locked in a dark cell, alone and scared. The pain in his chest was almost too much to bear. Kira watched Ethan from a distance. She wanted to help, but she was just a servant. She brought him a cup of water and spoke softly to him. "I am sorry for what happened to your daughter," she said. "I hope she comes back soon." Ethan thanked her, and for a moment, he felt less alone. That day, everything changed. A secret video of Lily in her cell was released to the galaxy. It showed her sitting on the floor, shivering and crying for her father. The video was short, but it was enough. The whole galaxy saw it. People everywhere were shocked. Even aliens who did not like humans felt sorry for Lily. Many said the council had gone too far. The news spread fast. In human cities, people filled The streets. They carried signs and pictures of Lily. They shouted for her freedom. Some cried when they saw the video. President Brooks watched the protests and knew she had to act. She called the council and demanded a meeting. High Chancellor Vierock agreed to meet, but he was angry. He blamed the humans for the trouble. When President Brooks and Ambassador Henry arrived, he did not shake their hands. He sat in his tall chair and stared at them. His yellow eyes were cold. "You have no right to threaten us," Vierock said. "This is our world. These are our laws. The child broke the law. She must be punished." President Brooks was calm, but there was fire in her voice. "She is a child," she said. "She made a mistake. Your guards hurt her. This is wrong. Give her back or we will act." Vierock would not listen. He said the council was strong and would not be bullied. He ordered his guards to remove the humans from the room. Ethan tried to speak, but they would not let him. He left the meeting with a heavy heart, but he knew the humans would not give up. Back in the human embassy, Ambassador Henry and Ethan sent a message to General Hayes. "The council will not listen," they wrote. "We must prepare for a rescue." General Hayes called his captains. The human fleet moved closer to the city. Their ships were silent and dark, but ready to move at any moment. In the council city, people looked up and saw the ships. Some were afraid, others were hopeful. Kira decided to take a big risk. She found a hidden way into the lower prison. She moved quietly, hiding from the guards. She brought Lily a piece of bread and some water. Lily was weak, but she smiled when she saw Kira. "Thank you," Lily whispered. Kira told her to be brave. She said help was coming. The video of Lily changed everything. Some council members began to question High Chancellor Vierock. They asked if the council was truly right. A few even sent secret messages to the humans saying they wanted peace. In other alien cities, people protested for Lily's release, but Vierock would not give in. He called for more guards and locked down the city. He ordered his soldiers to watch the humans closely. He said that anyone helping them would be punished. On Earth, President Brooks watched the galaxy change. She knew the council was divided. She sent messages to the friendly aliens asking for help. She told the human people to stay calm, but strong. The human hackers on Mars found new secrets in the council's computers. They learned about other prisoners who were treated badly. They sent this information to news channels across the galaxy. More and more people began to see the truth. Ethan waited every hour for news. He did not know if Lily was safe. Sometimes he sat in her empty room holding her favorite toy. He prayed that she would come home soon. General Hayes looked at his fleet. He was ready to go. He just needed the order. President Brooks waited for one more chance. She sent a final message to the council. "If you do not release Lily Carter by tomorrow, we will come for her." In the council city, the air was tense. People waited for the council to make a choice. Would they give back the child, or would they face the anger of humanity? Kira stayed with Lily as long as she could. She promised to return with help. "You are not alone," Kira said softly. Lily nodded and tried to be brave. That night, Ethan looked out at the stars. He remembered a story he once told Lily about how people never gave up, even when things seemed darkest. Now he knew that story was true. All across the galaxy, humans were coming together, and nothing would stop them. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The morning was quiet, but everyone in the council city could feel that something was about to happen. The human ships hovered in the sky, waiting. In the council building, High Chancellor Vierock paced back and forth, angry and worried. He had never seen so much pressure from the humans. He did not know if he could control the council for much longer. Ethan sat in the embassy, not eating or sleeping. He kept his communicator close and watched for any news about Lily. He knew the deadline from President Brooks would end soon. General Hayes sent him a short message. "We are ready." In her cell, Lily lay on the cold floor. She was tired and hungry, but she held on to hope. She remembered Kira's promise. She knew her father was looking for her, and she tried to be strong. Sometimes she whispered to herself, saying, "I will see my father again." Kira moved quietly through the shadows of the council city. She was careful not to be seen. She listened to the guards and learned the codes for the prison doors. She also found a small group of council workers who were unhappy with how Lily was being treated. They wanted to help, but they were afraid of Varrock and his guards. As the sun began to rise, Ambassador Henry called Ethan. "It is time," he sighed. "The council will not change their mind. General Hayes will begin the rescue." Ethan felt his heart race. He was afraid for Lily, but he trusted the human soldiers. General Hayes sent the signal to the fleet. The human ships moved fast, flying low over the council city. Their engines shook the air. Alarms sounded everywhere. Council guards rushed to their posts. The people in the city ran for cover, unsure if this was the start of war, but the human ships did not attack the city. Instead, they landed quietly near the council prison. Dozens of soldiers in dark suits ran out. They used small machines to open the doors. Council guards tried to stop them, but the humans moved too quickly. They used special tools to disable the guards' weapons without hurting anyone. Kira met the soldiers at the entrance of the lower prison. She waved her hands and said, "This way." "Hurry!" The leader of the soldiers, Captain Mason, thanked her. He told his team to follow Kira. She led them through narrow halls and down into the cold, dark cells. Lily heard footsteps outside her door. She thought it was another guard, but when the door opened, she saw people in human uniforms. One of them knelt beside her and said, "We are here to take you home." Lily tried to stand, but her legs were weak. The soldier lifted her gently and carried her out. Kira and the soldiers helped other prisoners too. Some were humans, but some were aliens who had also been treated badly by the council. Captain Mason called for the evacuation ships to come closer. The team moved quickly, carrying Lily and the other prisoners to safety. Outside, the council guards finally gathered in large numbers. They blocked the path to the ships. Captain Mason ordered his soldiers to form a wall in front of the prisoners. The guards shouted and waved their weapons, but the humans did not fire. Instead, they used bright flashes of light and loud sounds to scare the guards away. Ethan watched all of this unfold on a screen in the embassy. When he saw Lily in the arms of a soldier, he broke down in tears. He rushed to the landing area. Praying that nothing would go wrong, the human soldiers ran through the city, moving the prisoners toward the ships. People in the city watched from their windows. Some cheered for the humans, others were silent with fear. Kira stayed by Lily's side, holding her hand and telling her, "You are almost home." When the humans reached the ships, Ethan was waiting. He saw Lily and ran to her. He hugged her tightly and would not let go. Lily cried with relief and smiled at her father. Kira stepped back, happy to see them together. The ships took off quickly, flying back to the human fleet. The council guards could not stop them. In the council building, Varrock slammed his fist on the table. He ordered the council's own ships to attack the humans. "They have stolen our prisoner. They will pay." He shouted. A battle began in space above the city. Human ships and council ships fired at each other. Bright lights filled the sky. The human ships were faster and smarter. They did not try to destroy the council ships, but used special weapons to disable them. The council ships went dark, floating in space. General Hayes sent a message to the council. "We have our child. We will leave your city. If you attack us again, we will fight back. We do not want war, but we will protect our people." The human fleet left the council planet, taking Lily, Ethan, and the other rescued prisoners. They moved quickly, making sure no council ships followed them back. On Earth, people cheered when they heard the news. President Brooks spoke on every channel, telling the galaxy that Lily was safe. She thanked the human soldiers and Kira for their bravery. She also warned the council, "We will never allow anyone to hurt our children again." But not all was peaceful. The council was furious. Some of their leaders called for revenge. They attacked small human colonies on the edge of space. Buildings were destroyed, and many people had to run for their lives. The human leaders were angry, but they did not attack back. Instead, they used a new secret weapon ships that could turn off the power of entire council worlds without harming the people. On those council worlds, everything stopped working. No lights, no machines, no ships could fly. People were scared and confused. The humans sent a simple message: stop hurting us, and we will stop. The galaxy was now on the edge of something new. Some aliens began to question if the Council was truly right. Others started to support the humans. Ethan held Lily close and promised she would never be alone again. Kira watched the news from her small home. She was proud that she had helped, even if it was dangerous. She hoped that one day the galaxy would be a kinder place for all children, human or alien. The story was not over. Now the Council had to choose: would they continue the fight, or would they finally listen to the humans' call for justice? The galaxy changed after the rescue. News spread fast from world to world. Everyone knew how the humans had saved Lily and the other prisoners. People talked about it everywhere, on ships, in city squares, and at their family tables. The video of Lily returning to her father was played again and again. Many cried when they saw her small smile. On the Council worlds, nothing was the same. When the humans used their new ships to turn off all power, life stopped. The streets were dark. Shops closed. Food was spoiled. The leaders could not even call other planets for help. Many aliens grew angry with their own council. Some blamed Virak for starting this trouble. Others were afraid the humans would do more. Virak tried to speak to the people, but no one wanted to listen. He called for more meetings, but even his own council members argued. Some said it was time to talk to the humans and fix things. Others still wanted to fight, but they were now a smaller group. On Earth, President Brooks watched all the news with careful eyes. She knew there was still danger. She called for a big meeting with her advisors and the leaders from other human colonies. General Hayes was there too. He said the military was ready to defend their people, but he hoped they would not need to fight anymore. Lily was safe, but she was still scared. Even when she was home, she woke up at night and called for her father. Ethan sat with her and told her stories to help her sleep. He wanted her to forget the cold cell and the darkness. He wished he could make her pain disappear. The galaxy's news channels wanted to talk to Lily. At first, Ethan said no. He did not want his daughter to relive her fear. But then he saw messages from other parents and children, both human and alien. They said Lily's story gave them hope. They wanted to see her, to know she was all right. One day, Lily agreed to speak to everyone. With her father beside her, she sat in front of a camera and looked into the lens. Her voice was small but clear. "I was afraid," she said, "but I never gave up hope. My father told me that people are strong when they care about each other. Please, let's stop hurting children. Let's help each other instead." Her words touched hearts all over the galaxy. Many aliens sent messages of support. Some said sorry for what the Council did. Others asked their own leaders to listen to the humans and change the laws. On the Council worlds, protests began. Aliens walked together in silence, holding lights in their hands. They wanted peace. Some carried signs with Lily's name. They called for Virak to step down. Some council members saw this and knew they had lost the trust of their people. At a secret meeting, a group of council leaders met without Virak. They talked about how to fix things. One leader, a tall alien named Myra, stood up. She said, "We cannot win this fight. We must speak to the humans. We must say sorry and make things right." The others agreed. They sent a message to Earth. They asked for a meeting to talk about peace and justice for Lily. President Brooks received the message. She spoke to her advisors. She did not trust the Council yet, but she knew it was a chance to stop the fighting. She told General Hayes and Ambassador Henry to prepare for the meeting. Ethan was asked to join, too, because he and Lily were at the center of it all. The meeting took place on a neutral space station. It was guarded by both human and alien soldiers, but there were no weapons inside. President Brooks and General Hayes wore simple suits, not uniforms. Myra and her group came without Virak. Ethan brought Lily, and Kira came as a guest to show that not all aliens agreed with the Council's ways. Myra stood and bowed her head to Lily. "I am sorry for what happened to you. You did not deserve it. We want to change our ways. We will put those who hurt you on trial. We will make new laws to protect all children, human or alien." President Brooks looked at Myra. "We do not want revenge," she said. "We want justice and peace. Will you promise to treat humans as equals from now on?" Myra nodded. She said the council would be reformed. Humans would have the same rights as all other races. The new rules would be written for everyone to see. Back on the council homeworld, Viruk was angry when he learned about the meeting, but he could do nothing. The people no longer listened to him. Soon, the other council members voted to remove him. He was taken away and would have to answer for his actions in court. Lily became a symbol of hope and change. News channels across the stars shared her message of kindness and courage. Children from many worlds wrote her letters, thanking her for being brave. Kira went home feeling proud. She was honored by her people for helping Lily. Other aliens who once feared or hated humans now began to see them as friends. Ethan and Lily tried to live a normal life again. It was not easy, but they had many friends now. Ethan sometimes took Lily to parks, where she played with children of many different races. He smiled each time he saw her laugh. General Hayes and his fleet stayed ready, but he was hopeful. He believed there would be no more fighting. Not after all the galaxy had seen and learned. The council started the trials for those who had hurt Lily and other prisoners. The judges listened to the stories. They said sorry to the victims and promised that such things would never happen again. Slowly, trust began to grow between humans and the other council races. It was not perfect, and there were still many problems to fix. But the first steps had been taken. All because one child, and many who cared for her, showed the galaxy that justice and kindness were worth fighting for. The story was almost over, but its lesson would last for a long time. After the new agreement, everything in the galaxy began to change, but change was not easy. For many years, the council had ruled with cold rules and old fear. Now there were new leaders, new laws, and new hope. Still, some people remembered the pain and loss. Healing would take time. Ethan tried to help Lily return to her old life. She still had bad dreams about the cold, dark cell. Sometimes she woke up crying, calling for her father. Ethan always went to her side and held her hand until she felt safe again. He told her she was strong, braver than anyone he knew. He promised that no one would ever hurt her again. Lily went back to school, but things were not the same. Some children stared at her, and some wanted to hear her story again and again. Sometimes she felt tired of talking about the past. One day, a girl from another world came to her and said, "I am glad you are safe. I was scared when I saw you on the news." Lily smiled and hugged her new friend. After that, it became easier to feel normal. Ethan spent time with Kira, the alien girl who helped his daughter. He thanked her many times. Kira became close to Lily, and they spent afternoons together in the park, playing with other children. Ethan watched them, feeling grateful for the kindness that crossed stars and worlds. General Hayes stayed in command for a while, helping to protect human colonies and making sure the peace was real. But as the months passed and things stayed quiet, he felt ready to rest. President Brooks held a special event to thank him for his courage. She said, "General Hayes showed all of us that strength is not just about fighting. It is about knowing when to protect and when to forgive." The people cheered, and General Hayes smiled for the first time in a long time. He decided to retire and spend more time with his family. In the new council, Mira worked hard to rebuild trust. She made sure the trials were fair for those who hurt Lily and other prisoners. The court found them guilty, and they were punished. Myra also wrote new laws to protect children and all innocent people, no matter what world they came from. She invited humans to help write the new rules, so everyone felt equal and safe. President Brooks met often with Myra and other leaders. Together, they planned ways to share knowledge, help the poor, and heal broken worlds. They started new programs for children from different races to visit each other's planets and learn together. Ethan was asked to join these programs as a speaker, sharing Lily's story and teaching about hope, justice, and kindness. On some council worlds, there was still anger. A few people did not like the new peace. They said humans were too strong, too quick to fight. But more and more their voices grew quiet as people saw that the galaxy was becoming a better place. One day, Lily was invited to speak in front of the whole council. She was nervous, but Ethan told her he was proud, no matter what. Kira stood with her for support. Lily walked up to the center, looked at all the leaders, and spoke in a soft but steady voice. I was hurt, but I am not angry. I want everyone to be safe. Not just me, but every child. Please do not forget what happened. Use it to make things better. We can be kind, even when we are scared. We can forgive, even when we hurt. Many leaders wiped tears from their eyes. Even the news channel said Lily's words were a light for the whole galaxy. After the meeting, the council voted to make Lily's Day, her rescue day, a holiday on every world. They called it Unity Day. On that day each year, children and families from every race planted trees, shared food, and told stories about hope. Ethan and Lily planted the first tree together in the council's main garden, where it all began. Years passed. The galaxy grew more peaceful. New friendships grew between races that had never trusted each other before. Ships traveled safely between worlds. There were still problems and small fights, but nothing like the dark days before Lily's rescue. Kira became a leader in her own world. She worked to help children and spoke about the importance of courage and doing what is right, even when it is hard. She visited Lily often, and they stayed friends as they grew older. Ethan wrote a book about their story. He wrote about the pain and the hope, about how even in the darkest time, there was always someone who cared enough to help. His book was read in schools on many worlds. General Hayes lived quietly in his home on Earth. Sometimes people visited him and asked about the Great Rescue. He always said, "It was not just me, it was all of us." Even one person doing the right thing can change everything. President Brooks served her time and then stepped down, happy to leave the galaxy better than she found it. She visited Unity Day celebrations on different worlds and saw children of every race playing together. Myra stayed as council leader for many years. She was respected on every planet. She often said, "Peace is something we must work for every day." But now we know it is possible. One evening, many years after the rescue, Ethan and Lily walked in the garden where she had once been taken. The blue trees had grown taller. The air was full of laughter from children playing nearby. Lily stopped and looked at her father. "I am not scared anymore," she said. Ethan smiled and hugged her. "I am proud of you, Lily. You changed the galaxy." Under the same sky, on many worlds, people remembered the story. They knew that even the smallest person could be the start of something great. The pain of the past was not forgotten, but it had become a lesson. Now, the future was brighter because humans and aliens learned to trust and hope together, and so peace grew, not just in laws and treaties, but in the hearts of people everywhere because of one child, her father, and the friends who refused to give up.